In few textbooks, Booker Monroe made history in 1965 as the first African American to use a whites-only glory hole. Despite white glory holes having better funding, maintenance, and sanitation, racial segregation of public utilities was upheld under the Supreme Court until the 1954 ruling of Brown v. the Board of Education. But just because this law was overturned doesn't mean integration was accepted.
I was terrified. I mean, it seems like that first day, all the white people in town came out to protest me. Men, women, even children. And they were all screaming, "Go back to your own glory hole."
I remember my husband said to me, "Ethel, I don't know if I'm brave enough to put my penis into the white man's hole." And I took his hand in mine and I said, "You have to, because it's time to make a change."
Booker's use of the whites-only glory hole was so controversial that the segregationist governor even called in the National Guard to stop him, forcing President Lyndon B. Johnson to send in federal troopers to escort Monroe to the glory hole. Said Johnson, "I have commissioned the United States 102nd Airborne Division in an effort to escort Booker Monroe in order to preserve his safety as we strive for greater equality in this nation. It is Mr. Monroe's right as an American to use this glory hole." Finally, on Wednesday, August 4th, 1965, although he is mentioned in
Yes, it is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified. Myself. Yes, 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 Stoney Greatness. And I am here. Yes, I am here with the man of the hour, the myth, the legend.
Here we go.
The activist. The author, the achiever,
The old man with the gray hair,
the conqueror, the entertainer, the empowerer, the philanthropist, the educator.
That's a lot.
The innovator.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in. I'm Kyng Kevyn.
You know that. You know that. And a bag of chips. He is your king. He is my king. So show some respect and bend the knee, because they come from all across the world to see the man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. He is Kyng Kevyn.
Yeah, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Give it to the man. Give it
So
to
in
the
case
man.
I didn't realize,
Yes.
we got a live studio audience with us tonight.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. We love you too. We love you back. We love you back.
This is something. How y'all doing?
So it's going to be a fun show. If nothing
Yes.
else. Even though the topics that we're talking about tonight might make you a little upset,
Yes.
because it made me want to make the stink face.
And we got some happiness sprinkled in.
Of course, yeah.
We got some
We
nice,
got
you
it.
know. Yeah.
So you can go ahead and get us started.
All right.
Stoney Greatness.
All right. So welcome to the show, guys and gals and pals. All right. So let me go and pull up all the stories here. So let's start off with some drama. All right. And there's been a lot of drama. So I don't know if everybody's been paying attention, but Ray J's been going off as of late. He has been all over Instagram, talking this, talking that, calling Chris all types of liars. Oh my goodness.
Is she a liar though?
It is drama.
She took a lie detector test.
On television.
But if it's on TV, it must be real. Right?
Right. So basically, you know, it's like, hey, did you have anything to do with the sex tape leaking, or have you seen it? No. Lie detector test, you determined that was the truth. No, that was a lie. Because apparently Ray J got tapes, got receipts.
Yeah.
All right, talking about how she was the third party because Vivid Entertainment is always, according to TMZ, Vivid Entertainment said that it was a, third party who sold them the tape. And, because of Kim's lawsuit, they were compelled to let them know how much they made and, pay out and everything. So, but it was like, hey, they got double, honestly, because they sued, got money. Right. And then made Chris was the third party who sold them the tape to begin with.
Yeah, how about that?
According to Ray J, this is allegedly.
Well, because he has to produce the receipts first before we can say this is what happened. So allegedly, yeah. So real quick, y'all might hear our audience chiming in the background.
Ray J got his receipts.
Yeah, he did.
And he posted them.
Yeah, he did. He did right here.
Oh,
so yeah. And Kim, he released texts from Kim. Text.
It's not a state.
All right.
These are messages.
Whatever. But basically, he leaked the DMs from Kim. And she's like, "Hi, I'm sorry, I'm seeing this. I'm for your DMs now. I'm happy to hear that you're doing well, and congrats on your beautiful family. In regards to your last message, did you actually watch the episode? I didn't say a single bad thing about you. The show filmed in real time that day in hell that I had with my lawyer when your manager threatened to release another tape that didn't exist. And my son, who was 5 years old at the time, seeing an ad with me with my cry face emoji that said my cry face. Okay.
Right.
Kim's new sex tape as clickbait in Roblox. I didn't know they were advertising porn in Roblox.
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah,
okay.
That's why a lot of
those that was
yeah.
Is she referring to when the video first leaked, or is she referring to like since this drama is happening?
Well,
she said her son
the date says April 14th.
But it wasn't promoting
and who knows how long ago that was. We just know it was April 14th at 7 something.
I'm going to say robots do promote porn and whatnot, but that specific thing wasn't promoting that. It was just a cry face stating that when you're listening go live, your sex tape go live, and she felt some type of way about that being up there and her sex.
So I was going to tag onto this though, like sort of what she said, like I didn't say anything mean about you, Ray J, because part of me is wondering, like, why is Ray J talking about it? Like, how is this affecting him?
Yeah.
Besides keeping his name relevant,
and
I'm not a fan of the Kardashians like that. Yeah, no. But
I think these are all desperate people, grasping at straws, and they made an opportunity of something that you make.
And I'm doing intentional.
Like, no, it's different. No, like I said, they're making a mockery of what you make an art form. Like what you do, and what people who are genuine content creators do is they portray and sell fantasy. That is an art form. Not everybody can pull that off. I can show you people who you do not want to see sell no type of fantasy. All right. So it is an art form, and because anybody can make a sex tape. All right. But you don't make sex tapes. You make content.
I'm about to make
genuine
I'm about
content.
To create a new niche. It's going to be called sex tape.
But the thing is,
it's going to have bad angles and bad lighting.
Not Ray J. Kanye brought the whole situation.
So that's how I first heard about the story.
Yeah, of course.
Through this supposed almost beef between them. And I saw like the conversation that they were having back and forth. And I, first off, what does it got to do with Kanye? That's your ex now. And then, are you making money off of this deal too? So why are you adding your 2 cents? So now Kanye and Ray J are getting all this publicity for something that has nothing to do with, well, it does have something to do with Ray J, but it's like, how is it relevant?
Well, I don't know. Can anybody find, like, because it's not something that I go looking for. I don't want to see nothing about Ray J. You know what I mean? And Kim Kardashian, it's like, if I'm hanging out at the right place at the right time in LA and she's drunk enough, I have a chance. But
wait, she did break up with Pete Davidson.
Yeah. So she's out there, and if I'm in, like I said, if I'm in LA at the right time at the right place and she's drunk enough, I know I got a shot.
And then you know what she can do? Drop me crazy.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. I would just thrash her. And
that's what they all say.
No,
that's what they all say.
Just one comment. It's not just Kim.
Exactly.
Their whole family destroys black men.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope. Name one black man that ever left that place successful.
Because see, I pray to the patron saint of Kevin Federline.
Chris Humphrey almost didn't make
the hell out of them. I would Federline the hell out of them. I would. True. Bruce did not.
I'm gonna say Bruce did not.
Bruce did not. He completely turned into a woman.
So
he was like, can't beat them, join them.
Period. I'm gonna become a gym.
So, needless to say, all that drama is crazy, and I am just gonna be sitting here with my popcorn, watching a guy that is a one-hit wonder. Let's be real, one-hit wonder, and this Instagram lady just do stuff, and this crazy momager who's had OJ's baby and is running it off as something else.
All right, so
but
she gets a bad rep, because of how she handles business. But you cannot.
Oh no, I don't take nothing away from her business acumen.
That she is one of the dopest businesswomen in the world.
Exactly, I take nothing away from her business acumen. Kris Jenner is a shark and a half.
Yes,
she is a cutthroat.
Yes,
business lady.
She's a shark.
Who I respect because at the end of the day,
she will exploit all of her daughters to make money.
Yes,
and has done.
Yes, she is, and the thing about it is that she's done it in the most borderline way possible, because it borders. There are moments that border untasteful, and then there are moments that are actually elegant and graceful, and they look amazing and stuff like that. And it's amazing how they thread that line, but there is still that trash element to it. And
at this point, when you hear Kardashian or Jenny, you feel opulence. I don't call it trashy. I feel
like, okay, Beverly Hills trash.
But what's trashy? Like, and I'm not a fan. We all know that. But what's trashy about anything that they like? Look, they're beautiful. They're successful. They don't do shit, but they look good and they make a lot of money doing it.
Exactly.
Kardashians have also made stupid statements saying that if you don't have a job and make this much money, you're lazy.
Exactly.
They're completely whitewashing.
Kim said, "Get off your ass." Women need to get off your ass. She is definitely out of touch.
You got money from doing.
And if we didn't let you guys know, we have not only a live audience but an opinionated live audience.
A very opinionated.
And we love it.
We appreciate it. We love it. We love it. We love it. We can't stand them and we can't sit them, and that is okay. Moving on. Moving on to some other news or stuff. All right. So we're gonna get in the realm of a little bit of sports talk, because I am a jock.
I am not.
He is not. And I try to integrate. You guys know, you watch the show. I try to integrate any athletic story. I really do try to integrate it and make it appealing for him on many different levels.
He does.
I sell eye candy.
I want to say he always paints the picture, and you guys see how magnanimous he is with his words.
Yeah.
So
I sell eye candy.
Yeah, he draws all these pictures for me.
Yeah. No, and I really do be
having me thinking about like maybe I might want to watch sports just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I don't even know what the rule is. I don't care what the score is. I'm watching sports. Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. but and then there's stories that come out that where we can honestly discuss.
Yeah.
And because it affects the both of us, and it's tied to sports at the end of the day. And I love sports. You see, my guys just won, beat the Cowboys. So yeah. Hopefully we win today. But yeah. So a Minnesota Timberwolves guard by the name of Anthony Edwards. Okay, he's 21 years old.
Oh, he's a kid.
Yeah, recently was basically posted a video on his Twitter where he is in a car, and it with the background, it sounds very much like he's in the company of women, either majority women or just one woman or two, but there's obviously a female in the car with him, due to the background and everything else. You hear her.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of the window, he's shooting this video outside of his car window, and across the street are a group of guys standing around. All right. And
okay, so the guys,
the group of guys, yeah,
they were gay.
Yeah.
They had on.
There were a couple there with sports bras,
they
looking
were
Jones,
expressing themselves
through
their fashion.
Yeah.
As a lot of us gay men do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in their own way, though.
Yeah. So they were standing over there, and he was saying, look at these queer,
in words.
Yeah. And what's the world coming to, or something along those lines. Paraphrasing. All right, don't quote me, but paraphrasing, and that's the gist of the video. And you hear the girl snickering in the background and everything, and I get it. You're a 21-year-old NBA player. You're making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to play a street game, and you're flexing in front of your lady friend and everything else like that. I get it. I get the whole. You could make the case about toxic masculinity and everything else like that and everything.
That's one of the things to be said.
Where I'm coming from and everything, and I'm a jock, and I grappled with the struggle of, knowing who I was, but putting on a mask in the locker room and around the guys and everything, because I didn't feel like, I would be totally accepted, for being me, being in the athletic world. And it's getting better, apparently. I don't know. I'm not in there as often as I was before, but I do think it is getting better. But it hits kind of home for me because and if I boil it down to it, and my main problem is, if you look at it, I get it what you're doing, but
explain to me then.
Why? Because they're over there.
Explain to me then why you what is it that you get that
I get that he was
like showing off?
What I mean? Like, I'm a big girl. Like, look at them little queers over there. Look at them fairies.
I feel like the first thing is,
but no,
he's a kid.
Yeah, and exactly.
And I'm not excusing. I'm just starting with he's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go. You got this really young kid who has all this success and all this money, showboating. Yeah, I get that. But then I'm thinking on a level of, did no one in your team tell you that you should not be posting this type of shit
on your Twitter,
right, in 2022?
Yeah,
whether you meant it or not. Like, we didn't get to that yet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just also raising my hand. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
So that means he's literally a 2000s baby at that. So throughout your entire life, going to school,
that's crazy. You're right.
You're telling me that you would have never encountered someone that's like that will come up.
Right.
So it's not like it's not something you don't know not to say, because you would have had to deal with this. You're talking about elementary school, middle school.
Yeah, no, a 2000s baby, level,
and then going in and you're a 2000s baby. It would actually be more understandable for someone like in their 30s.
Yeah.
Now,
30s.
and this is to put it in perspective, because and they have the quote here on the New York Post. Basically says, "Look at these queer ass N-words, man." And then it says Edwards can be heard in the clip, which showed a group of people standing across the street from the vehicle. And then he said, "Look at what the world done came to, bruh." And then a woman can be heard laughing in the background. And then he says, "These N-words different," and everything. And understand that but this guy, this kid, right? Huh? Anthony Edwards. Yeah. Timberwolves, but he's the 2020 number 1 overall pick. So he was the first guy taken in the 2020 draft. That's a big deal. That is a big deal.
You know, they have this saying, like, make sure that your character can keep you where your talent can take you. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like spruce that up, but you got the point.
Now, he has come out and apologized. And, given that, factory, cookie cutter, hey, the team bought him because the team got out ahead of it. Team bought him in, of course, because this is what happens in there as well. The team bought him in, was like, hey, PR lady came in, hey, this isn't, we're going to, and you got to do this and you got to say it like this, but you got to feel.
When you work for a company, when you work for a brand, mm-hmm. before you start working, they are very specific to say, you represent us. These are the things you can do, can say, can't say.
Right.
Because even though you may not 100% represent us, you always represent us. So for him to be a part of a league and be their star player, mm-hmm. it's kind of like, I'm more than sure someone would have said to you,
because these are multi-billion-dollar franchise, like NBA franchise. You need a couple billion in order to get one, or at least a few $100 million. Like, and I'm talking about north of 500 million. Like, and that's some serious.
That's a lot
cash.
Of money. Because could you imagine if he gets canceled? If he gets canceled, and he's like, I don't know much about sports, so mm-hmm. I'm assuming he's one of the star players, and they got a lot riding on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, that's too much of an investment, I think, for him to just be doing stuff like that.
Right. So, like I said, he came out and apologized. It to me, it seems very cookie cutter, very PR friendly. Team PR lady coached him up, and he went out there and said it, and probably looked really sad and remorseful and everything.
Or not. I want to see that. I want to see it now.
It was honestly just the statement released, like and everything. There's no video of him even addressing it.
So he probably didn't even say it. The publicist probably wrote it and posted it.
And I'm pretty sure that even in the press conferences afterwards, this was not even a topic of discussion.
They wanted to move
sports
past
writers.
It quickly.
Yeah, and the thing with being a sports writer is that even though you may, and especially I feel like really conflicted for the gay sports writers in that room, because there are some gay sports writers in that room. But I feel conflicted because, I feel like it is because if I was in that room, I would have asked them about it. What do you mean? Why did it matter? Like, they were standing across the street. What effect did their presence have on you at that moment? Like, you need to explain yourself, because that's not something becoming of a hero for a kid out there with your poster, on their wall. Like, you got to explain yourself. And you got to let people know who you are at the end of the day. And so
I'll say this. Like, this cancel culture has done a lot of good and has done a lot of bad as well, but it definitely holds people's feet to the fire. You have to be accountable. Whereas in times past, stuff like this could happen and there'd be no accountability. So now that people are like, okay, we're going to lose this endorsement, we're going to lose this fan base, we got to clean this up. That means that people are really holding themselves to the fire now, mm-hmm. and having to be accountable, even if it's white. I don't say whitewash, but if it's a cookie cutter response, it's still, they have to acknowledge that what they did was wrong.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. And hopefully he is genuine. Like I said, he is young, so there is time for him to grow.
Before we get off that subject, mm-hmm. really quick, Do y'all think that the fan base be getting to a point where they have too much power? And I'm using air quotes with that.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think they go to having too much power? Because literally, I'm a social media type of person. Like, I be on social media 24/7, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, I'm on it. And on Twitter, there's a lot of you're canceled just because you didn't speak the right way. But I'm not necessarily saying that they are wrong in this case, but I'm just saying, do you think that they take it too literal?
All right. So I think as an entertainer, there's one of the things that I keep in mind, and it's a very thin line. I'm only as popular as I am because of my fans.
Yeah.
I mean, my haters play a part in that too, but
we love the haters.
Yeah, because y'all keep money in my pocket as well. Thank you.
And I love haterade.
But when when you're an entertainer, or sports entertainer, acting, whatever it is, you're in demand because of your fans. Your fans like you. So I think there should be some accountability from that person to their fans. Now, the other side to that is you got some people out there who have some ridiculous things in their head about what you should be, what you should do. And some people are extremely sensitive. So the slightest thing, those are the come and goers. They're going to come, they're going to go, they're going to come, they're going to go. They're not the consistent ones.
But what also goes with that question is, so basically you saying that it's the fans that is giving you your
I don't think it's necessarily the fans.
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because if Tide is a sponsor, Tide knows that they're going to get the money from the fans. That's why
it's a difference. Because you have the hardcore diehard sports teams fans who could honestly give two craps, about this. They I would say 6 times out of 10, to be honest with you, 6 times out of 10, they don't even like the gays. So they are, they're not going to speak up or anything else like that. It is the people who tune in when there's a big game on because they want to be in the know, and the people who actually are fair weather fans, because the fair weather fans are the general public, which have disposable income, which which they go out and buy the jerseys. The hardcore fans are already bought the jerseys.
But you know what? Even the ones that you say that like probably are homo folks themselves, they're the ones looking at that too because it's affecting their bottom dollar as well. So they care.
No, those fans are bought into the team. They're baked into the pie. You know what I mean? Because they're bought into the team. They could care less. You know what I mean? They're all about the team, or they're all about a specific player. There are those hardcore group of fans, and they're baked into the pie. That money is already counted on and accounted for. But it's that extra money, where people's feelings can get involved.
Yeah. As
to whether or not I feel good about giving this team my money because they support gay bashing. No, like there are people who are going to do it because they love the team.
Yeah.
But then you got people who aren't going to do it because it's like, no, I don't want to look bad. You know what I mean? And that is the disposable. You know what I mean?
That goes back to the accountability that you cannot be in that situation and not face that it looks bad. You have to acknowledge that I shouldn't do that.
Right.
That's my point. That's what I appreciate about these situations.
But the thing about it is, I feel like had this guy been and in basketball terms, a 7th or 8th guy on the roster, would he even be on the team right now?
No,
he would not. But this number 1 overall pick, this guy, we're gonna spend money, get him sensitivity training and everything else like that, and stuff. Make him better.
Something that I guess bothers me is they're gonna blow over this like it's nothing the way we're describing it, and it's like, okay, it was a thing, it's not no more because we want to keep our star player,
right?
He's gonna say he's sorry.
Yeah,
and we're gonna forget about it.
And that's what we do here. We call people out on their BS. So Anthony Edwards, we see you. Hello, we're over here. We're still gonna be tongue kissing.
Keep in mind,
and it's okay.
Keep in mind, it's not to say that he can't have an awakening, because this could be that moment for him to really okay, he's involved in this now,
and we hope
he'll learn something and maybe become connected, become an ally. If not an ally, not a basher.
Yes, and we hope for that here. And speaking of allies, we always love, spotlighting, the folks out there who are really, really okay with, supporting the community, and also not only supporting the community, but also representing the community.
I love the way that sounds. Yes. I love the idea of a cis heterosexual man represents the LGBTQ plus community. Yeah. And rightfully so. Mm-hmm.
And so, shout out to one of our favorites. Hopefully he sees this. And if somebody knows him, share this show. We would love to have him on the show, and just pick his brain. Everything, but
which would be great.
I keep messing it up, and he's not gonna come on the show because I keep messing it up.
Oh my goodness, J. Alfonso.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that everything? I don't think it's J. Alphonse Nicholson.
That's it.
J. Alphonse Nicholson
on our show.
So no, he's not coming. We're sorry, sir. It's a lot.
We'll fix it.
Yeah.
No, he's not coming on our show.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, and we like to do what you like to do on your spare time, and so it's a little bit, and hey, we can do that. Come on the show, we can do that, But J. Alphonse Nicholson, he got really emotional on the Tamron Hall show when Tamron Hall had the whole cast of, or a lot of the cast of P Valley. They had Mississippi there. They had who else there? Did they have Mercedes on there? Mercedes was on there.
Uncle Clifford was there.
Uncle Clifford was there.
Lil Murder.
Katori P. Hall was there on the show, the producer and writer and director of the show. And they, it was a very, very touching segment. Even though I love Tamron Hall, so shout out to Tamron Hall.
I just gotta say though, when you think about it, what the show on the surface represents, but how it really digs into people's lives, is like, I love it how they're telling us through a strip club,
right? And she was basically given all of them, their flowers and their props and everything, and J. Alphonse Nicholson became really emotional, and it was genuine, and it was tears, and he was all choked up because he was just saying how honored he was to just be able to tell this kind of story and portray the kind of men that are out there, and
and we know that
we all know,
and we also know that he's vocally spoken up when people try to bash in defense of our community. So he's definitely something. Yeah, so that's somebody that is definitely good representation.
Yes. So everybody everywhere, go out, support this man. Let him know, hey, we see you and we appreciate you genuinely, and we need more like you. Thanks. So that's a way to lift everybody's hearts as we go into another. As we go from there into another struggle story. All right, here we go.
All right, no, I'm not gonna do it. This ain't a constant time.
Right? Yeah.
I got my family in the room, and we just act a fool. So that's our live studio audience.
Now
we act a fool.
It's okay.
Every voice y'all just heard.
It's okay. Because we love it here on the GreatMines Show. We get crazy.
And it also feels good to have family in the room. But go ahead.
So recently, all right, and we go from that very lighthearted touch of wood, to a
very deep one.
Very philosophical and everyday for some of us. Especially if you're a part of our community and a part of our, audience. So a recent, if you haven't heard, a recent Texas ruling, a recent Texas federal court has the potential, ruling there So they had a ruling recently, and it has the potential to threaten not just PrEP, but access to all common sense preventative medical care for the people in the U.S. So, and I work in this realm, folks, every day. All right, so I definitely am, somewhat of an expert.
It's going to be kind of interesting, the different expertise that we bring to this topic.
Yes. So with that, and what that ruling basically is that this was what, as of September 11th. Okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah.
And on Wednesday, a U.S. District Court judge ruled in favor of Braidwood Management, Inc., a Christian-owned company that argued in its initial complaint that the Affordable Care Act's requirement that insurers and employers offer plans that cover PrEP for free force religious employers to provide coverage for drugs that facilitate and encourage homosexual behavior, prostitution, sexual promiscuity, and intravenous drug use. Okay. This argument is not only terribly prejudiced, but it is simply wrong. Okay,
and it's dangerous.
It is very wrong.
That's a dangerous view to have and something to pursue.
NBC News, by the way, credit NBC News. So basically, and what that does, and it does really fundamentally challenge, because the thing that the Affordable Care Act did is that it codified and established certain rules of coverage that you guys enjoy. Okay, it established that when it comes to preventative care, it should be free. No one should pay for care that prevents them from being unhealthy, which makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm going to the doctor for a checkup, which is preventative, all right, he checks me. There's nothing wrong. I go on my way. I shouldn't have to pay for that. Should not have to pay for that. Makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. But see, here in America, right? Right, they conflate things. And the thing about it is that, yes, the Affordable Care Act does by law mandate that preventative care be 100% covered. And the things that fall under preventative care, such as drugs and certain treatments, are that preventative care. Okay, so this particular drug prevents, all right, folks from contracting HIV. All right, so you have to figure the and honestly, my problem with this is that it boils down to the behavior risk. You are basically saying that my employees, I shouldn't have to cover this because my employees don't engage in none of these particular activities that you had said that it promotes.
But the problem is, you should not be in my bedroom. You should not be in my business. You're paying for our medicines, period. Mm-hmm. Whatever my health condition, you can't ask me if I got a disability. You can't ask me about what I'm sick with, but you can prevent the medicines to help me treat those things.
And that's what, and this is where I feel like the judge, and I believe that this particular judge was appointed, it's a Texas judge. It's a Texas judge.
Go figure.
Of course. But I feel like the judge is thinking, yeah, no, it does promote, you know what I mean? Well, the burden of proof, at the end of the day, the law established that this is a preventative medication, regardless. It's regardless of the risk behavior, So it's upon you to prove that that's what that policy does. So show me, go look at your employees, follow your employees around. All right. No, go do that. Go do it. Follow your employees around. Let me know how many of them are engaging in homosexuality, how many of them are engaging in sexual promiscuity, how many of them are using intravenous drugs. All right. How many of them are, doing all types of stuff, getting anal with the tree outside. Tell me that. You want to jump in so bad.
So pause, because I'm a little bit more conservative than most when it comes to these things. Is it more so that it's saying that specific company that company is a religious company, or their basis is a religious basis, and they do not want to offer their employees the rights for preventative care.
Yes.
I hear you. I'm not saying I disagree. What's America? What the fuck they want? Don't work there. They'll lose money. They'll lose employees. Sorry.
Beep.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Sorry, London.
And move. You have to stop putting a burden on these companies that know are out there just for money, and start putting a burden on yourself. I can't tell you how many jobs I've quit because they've done something that I morally do not agree with.
So it goes back to what I said earlier about it goes back to what I said earlier about holding people's feet to the fire. There's no accountability, and stuff like that will never change if we just leave because we just agree. It should be a space that we should all. That should not stop me from working a job that I really enjoy, making the money that I want to make. Why should that be a reason for me to not have this job? No, fix that. Fix that.
But if it's a job that you really have in a place that you've already put a career in, then you're going to know what their bylaws are about anyway. This is not going to be a surprise for people who are literally in that business, climbing the ladder, going up.
But what about that person that just got finished with college and they decide they want to work for this company and they don't know?
Now, but look,
mass recession.
This is my thing, right? I get what you're saying, but this is the law. You know what I mean? And under the law, this is a preventative drug. You are required to provide it for free to your employees.
I just feel like how do you get to pick and choose?
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. If you want to pick and choose, the burden of proof is on you at that point. The burden of proof is on you.
Because I could easily say
and make the case why you should be exempt.
I need to be careful with this because they say stupid stuff anyway. But I could easily say, oh well, if you give me insulin, I'll be healthy and I won't be able to go out and do. You can tie it to anything. In other words, I'm being cynical, but you can tie it to anything.
Right, because
it could be heart medicine because people who live with HIV develop heart issues. So a lot of them take statins in older ages. So you're going to tell me you're not going to give them their heart medicine because they got it as a result of HIV?
Right, and what that does is that it undermines the purpose of codifying preventative care because at the end of the day, that raises the floor. It raises the floor of health. Without preventative care being covered, you'll have people with that make more that have preventative care covered, and then people who work at McDonald's, paying a quarter of their check for premiums and everything else like that, and they don't have no preventative care. They can't even get sick. It's a $400 copay when they go to the emergency room. Like it's a $30 copay every time they go to the
at the same time. This is Texas where they basically essentially just took away women's rights completely.
Oh yeah, no,
so once again,
absolutely, they did.
Once again, in that same instance of if I was a woman in Texas and this is going out and my job is saying that they're sticking with it. Once again, at that point in my time, I have to make the conscious decision to say what y'all are doing is screwed up. Excuse me.
You do have that right.
And I'm going. And
absolutely.
That's how you'll teach a company business. Going
but
back and forth in
you have to. But you also have to figure if this is where I am. And this is is like you have to. Like it's the law at the end of the day. I don't care what it says. It's the law.
Besides that, I'm also my other scenario is we know that the average American don't have anything really saved up.
Right.
Middle class is really lower class right about now. You need your job.
Right.
You need your insurance. Yes, you need your preventative, but you need your job. You gotta take care of your family.
But it's not just for the healthy folks. Preventative exams, especially for kids and infants, there are a lot of those. There are a lot of those for them. Those are expensive. I see those claims every day. $400 or $500 a pop for little Jimmy to go sit in front of Dr. Temowitz and for him to look at him and be like, hey, how you doing? Feel up on his arms, feel up on his legs, look him around and put the thing up on him, get his little blood pressure. All right, well, he seems healthy. $450. all right, is what that doctor is billing for. Just that little thing that you had to sit in the waiting room for an hour and a half for.
Yep.
All right. And it only took you 15 minutes. $450. All right. Now, that's a preventative exam for little Johnny. He has 4 of them this year that are mandated. So, it saves families thousands of dollars a year, and I see that every day. Praise be to Obama, for the Affordable Care Act, because it helps. And I don't think a lot of people understand how much it helped. like it really does. So I just think that this ruling is bullshit because, like I said, it could take away all of preventative care because it calls into question all of preventative care. You'll have people at the bottom who are paying out of the nose for healthcare, but really don't have healthcare. And it's to hold healthcare companies accountable for the products that they're selling to the public, because they can't be selling coverage like they were before the Affordable Care Act, like it's coverage, and it's not. It's you're just paying a premium every year to have access to overpriced, benefits. That's how I feel about it.
No, I agree. I just look at.
And you're more on the clinical side of it.
Oh yeah, that's a major thing. I just think about, like, in the future, how would this affect? How would this affect the next thing that will affect the next thing? And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, if you can't prevent it, that means that more people are going to contract HIV. That's what we're talking about, preventing.
Mm-hmm.
And just the whole notion of a bill like this lets us know that you're homophobic. So a person is not going. It's kind of like you're going back into the dark ages where you kind of have to hide who you really are if you want to get certain services or whatever the case may be. I see this going way left and way fast.
Yeah.
Just like the whole abortion thing with the girl who got raped and had to go to a different state to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It didn't take any time
I hear those every other week.
But it took no time for that story to come after the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Like, in no time, we heard the story. So it's like, it's not going to take long to see the repercussions of these dumb bills and changes and turning things. Like, I don't know what's happening, but somebody's trying to tear us up royally.
You have to be mindful, and to all our folks out there in Texas, if you're watching, definitely get out there. Texas is a changing. I firmly believe it. Texas is trending purple, and it's going to be a time when Texas is going to go blue. It may be when I'm old, but it's coming. And I know I'm going to live to see it.
And I can see why you say that.
I know I'm going to live to see it. I know I'm going to live to see Texas go blue. And it'll be a happy day.
That might not happen till we old.
The white lash is going to be epic. Sweet Jesus. And I'm going to sit back with my popcorn and soap it up. And, I'm going to have my shotgun next to me because you know how they are. You know how they are.
You say that like you're going to be in Texas.
Oh goodness, the way things are, and I just am afraid of their electric grid. That is the thing, because it's affordable. It's affordable to live in Texas. It is, and it's nice. So but I just know that electric grid scares me. I don't. Nope. You're not going to catch me in the middle of 100-degree heat wave, and y'all want to do some rolling brownouts because y'all want to be burning coal and not having no windmills. How do you not have windmills in Texas? Like, or solar.
Either or, both.
Like, stupid. Oh no, that's not good. It's stupid. It's just stupid.
It's a state of mind.
It's stupid. And they're making fun of California right now. Everybody's talking bad about California because it's on fire because of states like Texas who just burn coal and burn oil and stuff. But California, half their energy comes from renewables. Like half of that state's energy comes from solar, wind, hydroelectric, like renewable stuff. Absolutely amazing. Because if California broke off, they would become the 6th most powerful economy
they already
in
are.
the world.
They already are.
Just California by itself. All right. So understand that California is pushing, and then they're going to be.
If it wasn't going to be underwater, I would want to live in California.
Yeah, and they're not going to be selling gas cars by 2035.
Yeah.
So that's going to force automakers to come out with an affordable electric car because they cannot afford to not have a market in California, the 6th largest economy in the world by itself. Okay, so understand that California is going to be pushing it and pushing us to hopefully to a greener world where we can save the ice caps that's melting right now, because if that melts like 6 feet water, we're all you know what I mean. But yeah,
well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to our live audience.
Thank y'all. That was wonderful.
Audience that came and joined us in conversation and made a bunch of noise while we were talking.
Mm-hmm. So
we love you though.
Yeah. So you'll hear from us soon. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and you'll hear from us, at a later date about things, and we'll wrap things up, unfortunately. But we love you.